Lee, are you recording?
I've just clicked on record now, yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I hope it's recording.
Well, let's introduce ourselves. Lee, you go first.
Hello, good evening, or good day, good afternoon, whatever, and welcome to another episode of the Dark Wispers Podcast. I'm Lee Taylor, and with me today is...
Well, this is Jay Harding, author of the almost best-selling horror novel Wispers, known in the feline kingdom as the irrefutable and unrepentable Kathmandu.
Kathmandu, Brooklyn Clan.
Represent.
I am available for cat mitzvahs, kiddabi parties, and other special occasions. And to all those who have sent in requests, I'm sorry, but I don't do feral cats. Too much bloodshed.
What about an ocelot?
How much what?
What's that? That was that meow. What about an ocelot?
An ocelot? No, that's fine. That's fine. As long as an ocelot's not feral, I can pretty much. Oh wait, hold on. Anytime I say anything about it, those guys, they come and want to talk to me, so, okay.
Sounds like he's got a soundboard going.
It's only cats. Hey, here's my favorite one. Listen to this.
I wonder if a crochet hook would work on her as well. Anyway, also with us today is the fabulous, fantastic author that is Lisa Morgan. Lisa, how are you doing?
I am terrific. How are you, Lee?
I'm not too bad. I've started watching this new TV series called Archer, which is absolutely freaking hilarious.
Yes, that show is fantastic. That's where you got the ocelot, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought Archer was just like a knockoff of that series. I'm not going to say out loud because Lee sends me death threats. TV movie. Or the movie.
There's a movie? Archers. You're thinking of the frickin' Hunger Games.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
No, you didn't.
Blood is shooting out his eyes.
I had another conversation with my friend who had a tattoo the other day. Yeah, that was fascinating. Apparently he didn't like the way that I was representing him during the discussion. And I said, well, in all fairness, dude, you're a frickin' idiot. The world needs to know.
More of a public service, really.
Yeah, it's a public service announcement.
There is more than one idiot abroad now.
Oh, yeah. To be honest, I wish he was like Carl Pilkington. At least he has, like, fantastic ideas, like the cushioned pants. They're brilliant. This dude's ideas. I mean, there's a couple of times, yeah. I don't know if what the club scenes are like in Alabama or whatnot, but in the UK, I've been to like a few. There was a heavy metal club we went to, and my friend, the one who just recently got the tattoo of the Mockingjay on his arm, he thought it would be a really smart idea to wear Jesus sandals with like broken glass and teeth all over the floor. So that was interesting. And he topped it off with a pair of disco flares. Well, they're jeans, but they were like bell-bottom jeans. And I was like, holy shit, you just pushed the boat out. What the hell is wrong with you?
Well, if they were true Jesus jeans, he'd be able to walk over the glass, but...
well, no, I mean, if any spilled beer on the floor, he's fine. He could just walk on top of, absolutely fantastic. Right. Just like the original Jesus sandals. But no, these ones, no. No.
These were Birkenstock Jesus sandals.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, tell us about yourself. I know that you minored in smart mouth at the School of Hard Knocks.
Exactly.
Yep, and you live in, is it Cobleskill or just Cobleskill?
Very good. Yeah, most people screw that up. It's called Cobleskill. Just a little, teeny tiny town, about half an hour from Cooperstown. So baseball and all of that fun crap.
Where's
so
Cooperstown?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom with 3 rotten kids and an overworked and unappreciative husband. Other than that, Sagittarius who likes shopping and
all all you Facebookers, go to Lisa Morgan's Facebook page, and you'll see a picture of her three darling children.
They're like cherubs.
The tallest one,
Yeah.
the one center, looks like she's just having too much fun for that picture.
And that's my son.
They all look so incredibly happy. I mean, they look like they should be on a cover for like a 1950s home ec magazine. I mean,
Exactly.
They're just fully together.
Well, I've got to tell you, I'm so proud of my son. We were in Pennsylvania this weekend for this scary Halloween party, and he came up. He said, "So, can I try what you're drinking?" "Sure, Sam." So I poured him a nice shot of Jaeger.
Yeah.
Child loved it. I'm so proud. I'm like, "Baby, give me a hug. Your mommy." It was a great thing. He had two, and then he went to bed because he couldn't handle it.
You went to bed, or he went to bed?
No, he went to. Well, I don't know if he went to bed. I don't know. He's 16. It could happen.
Oh yeah.
Just I'm not going there.
What do you guys call that in the like in the States? What's the condition called when like you've had too much to drink and you start urinating in weird places?
That's not normal. That's a condition. Shit.
It's just in the United Kingdom. Well, I say in the United Kingdom, in like the southern part of England where I'm from, basically where the farmers come from. It's called swamping. That's like the act of when you've had too much to drink, you suddenly just like sprout puddles spontaneously.
No, I think that's pretty much normal around here. So,
Oh, there you go. That's just normal. That's just marking. Say, hey, get off my lawn.
Exactly. That's so when the neighbors come around and they sniff. They know, oh, wait a minute, that's not our house. Next door, just like the dogs,
In Alabama, we call it marking our territory.
Yes. So that might be a U.S. thing, Lee.
Oh. Now, Lisa, what you should have done after you gave your son 2 shots of Jaegers, would be to pour warm liquid all over the middle of his bed, and then see what happens in the morning.
Yeah. Far too many teenage girls for me to even tempt that, so.
Right. Well, just to see if he says anything, or if he like secretly tries to gather his sheets up and does.
Well, if you want to do that, what you want to do is cover them with like chicken blood or something. So when they wake up, they're just covered in blood from head to toe.
Yeah,
and
but,
like,
but
what
that kid would wake up and be like, "That was a hell of a party, Mom. I got up there with blood and entrails. I don't know what happened, but yeah, metal."
And you're mixing.
Have you guys been like complete blackout drunk before and you wake up in a strange place?
I actually passed out on Main Street once drunk.
Oh wow.
But never in a strange place. I was pretty good when I was growing up. I wasn't like well behaved, but the group of kids that I hung with, we always stuck right together. So there was never anybody that was just like, I was never just by myself. I'd have someone who could pull me out by my hair if I was in over my head, which was typical.
Well, that's good. Unfortunately, I can be too big to handle sometimes. I mean, one time I woke up and I was like mostly naked, other than like a pair of boxers and a pair of wellies, which I don't know where I got them from. And I was tied to a tractor in the middle of a field in Wales. So that was interesting. I don't know how I got to Wales or what happened before then. All I know is that I was drinking like a fish beforehand, before things started to get a bit hectic. I mean, if I'm drinking like normal drinks, just if I stick to beer and I have a few like spirits in between, I'm fine. But if I start mixing everything, and by everything I mean like wine, beer, spirit, and then I start trying to mix them together in a cocktail, calling it liquid shit, things don't go too well. I mean, I kind of like lose track of time. I mean, the most embarrassing case I've had like that. I used to work for this telephone company. And I was so incredibly nervous because it was the Christmas party, and I was just getting beers in, and then my boss comes over to me and he says, "There's a tab on, you can have as much wine as you want." And I was like, "Oh, fantastic! I'm already half cut on beer, but yeah, let's start with the wine." Anyway, so I started drinking the wine, and I went through a couple of bottles, and my wife, she sat next to me, and she's talking to all my bosses and all their girlfriends or respective boyfriends, and everyone's getting on absolutely fine. And the starter comes out, "Where's Lee?" I was outside throwing up all over the wall, just painting the place. It wasn't a good experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It could have been had you thrown up inside.
No, I didn't. I was for something. It's the thing I do when I'm drunk. You know, it's just you want to either you need air or you just start making your own way. So you know, I suppose what wasn't really smart is the restaurant we were actually drinking at was literally 100 yards away from like the police headquarters of the southwest of England. So I almost got stuck in a drunk tank. So that was exciting.
I think the last time I was drunk enough to throw up, we were in Florida and we went to downtown Disney. So, yeah, I threw up all over Disney, which is pretty awesome. It's pretty magical. I think it's like glitter and shit, but yeah, it could very well be.
at the time, it's all glitter and rainbows. And you
it was very exciting.
Yeah.
I saw Mickey Mouse there. He had a mop, and I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. And hung my head, and we went home. It was bad, but...
The time that I was totally pissed, that's what they say in England, not to leave. I was totally pissed in this bar, and I came out, and I saw this goddess by the payphone, and that was back when they had payphones. And next thing I know, we're making out like we had been together for years. Well, I mean, for days. We were together for years. Have I told you that story, Lee?
No, you haven't. No, please continue.
Okay. And we're making out, and one of us called a cab. I don't remember. I think we punched those buttons. And a cab showed up, and she took me to her place, and we had mad, passionate sex all night long, which I can barely remember. And then the next morning, I wake up, and laying next to me is the most hideous female example I'd ever seen in my life. She was absolutely horrific. And at the foot of the bed was a young man about 12 years old who said, "Are you my daddy?" And
of course, son, now make me some eggs.
I left there really quick and showered about 8 times. But then about 6 months later, I'm sitting in this little diner, and this is when I was in the Army, and I'm telling all my buddies this exact same story I'm telling you. And I tell it just the way I told you now. And we got up to leave the table, and I look over, and that woman and her son were at the table right behind us.
Oh, dear God.
And I don't think that I've gotten above 2'3" since then. And I know that in telling this story, this woman is somewhere out there going to listen to this. So, I apologize.
So, yeah, if you want to get back in contact, I mean, you can get hold of Jay. Either that or you can... Your best bet if you want to get back in contact with Jay is to find Selrak, because he's still out hunting Jay at the moment. When he tracks him down and he finds a loophole for his Dungeons and Dragons loophole, then that's it.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Yeah, but that's the sort of thing from a horror story, you know, with the whole, "Are you my daddy?" And suddenly it's just like, I don't know, am I Rip Van Winkle? Did I just pass out for like a decade and not realise what the hell is going on?
I almost wish that he had said, but
yeah, that's how you know you've had a good night, when you wake up and everyone you imagine is actually cats. To be honest with you, though, when you were saying that you were sweet-talking the lady outside of the bar, I was expecting you to say it turned out like you were actually snogging a lamppost. You know, something like that. I mean, I've had like deep meaning. Well, you know what it's like. As soon as you've had a bit of a drink, suddenly you become like a philosopher, and you're just talking about all these respective views of the universe. I mean, I've had many discussions with like trees and posts that just happen to be there. I mean, they're great listeners, sure, but they don't really reciprocate an awful lot.
And who needs reciprocation when you're that way?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've gotten an argument a couple of times with the lamppost because it was giving me the silent treatment, but we won't get into that.
You will not ignore me.
Yeah. What have I done to you?
I thought we were friends.
Yeah. We've been so much together. I mean, you helped me stand up when I was throwing up.
Well, Lisa, how did we get into this whole drinking thing?
I think that's.
Yeah.
Blame it on Lisa. She was talking.
Yeah, it's always my fault, really. It was, me contributing to the delinquency of my minor child.
I can't complain. I got all my kids high when they turned 16. I sat him down at the table and I said, look, this is how you roll up a joint, and this is how you smoke it. And of my 7 kids, only one of them said, no thanks, Dad. I think I'll keep my brain. But I was officially the coolest dad in the neighborhood, you know. I had no age limit to handing out joints on Halloween. I mean, it was all about spreading the love. You know?
That time's nearing again. So are you going to be out there handing out doobies?
No, I wish I could, but...
Oh, that's a shame. That makes some I mean, that'd be the best thing. You got all these trick-or-treaters with the munchies, and it's the perfect night for it.
Oh, exactly. Well, you know, nowadays parents go through the candy before the kids get it. There's been so many years of the threats like, they're putting razor blades in the apples, and they're putting acid in the lemon drops, and all the nasty things that I used to do in the 70s. Everybody's warning about. So parents are the first ones to skip the candy now, and it just doesn't make for any fun apple razor blades anymore. So
I don't go through my kids' candy because I figure what doesn't kill them makes them stronger. Good. Live on the edge, kids.
That's a Kelly Clarkson song, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Oh, Lord.
See, that was good. All right, on our next British Idol.
That's actually on at the moment, the X Factor. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine. Well, I say of mine. Well, it's my wife's, but obviously I have to watch it. I don't have to. I mean, I watch, like, whenever any one of these new reality TV shows comes on, I always watch it just so I can find someone to hate. That doesn't really sound normally healthy, but I mean, once a year you just turn on the TV and just decide, yeah, that guy gets on my tits, I don't like him, I want him off. Or if it's a woman, and then you can just start saying, oh my God, he sounds terrible. And my wife's like, well, if you think you're so good, why don't you try singing? And I was like, well, I can't.
And then sometimes someone like Susan Boyle comes along and just kind of blows everybody away.
Well, she almost blew herself away. I mean, she's a few corn in the cob shy of a picnic basket.
Yeah, I know. And yet she still doesn't take a good picture. But I'm sorry, Susan, if you're listening to this. That's what made it so phenomenal, is that she looks so much like that girl I woke up with that next morning.
It could have been. See, look at the boat you missed. Jeez,
yeah,
Jay. Probably was her.
There's only a few problems with that. I mean, one of them is Jay was saying that she was kissing her, and she's like, oh no, I've never been kissed. And it's like, okay, she's never been kissed. So the question is, what was Jay doing at the time? Oh, it turns out he was licking her belly button.
Hey, someone's got to lick them.
These belly buttons ain't gonna lick themselves. Get in there and D-Black.
I used to be able to reach my belly button, but not anymore. I wasn't even thinking about my tongue either. Oh my God.
I was going to say, that's like the next natural go-to. After a guy tries to self-fillet himself and fails miserably, he's like, so I'll stick my tongue in my belly button, that'll do.
Yeah, close enough.
I can't even reach my own nipple.
I've been practicing. I've been doing 5 years of yoga for this moment. Nope, fail.
I think the secret is in removing the bottom ribs. I think that's the secret right there.
I mean, that's the rumor going around. I mean, like everyone's saying, oh, Marilyn Manson, he did it to himself, so he could suck himself off, and everyone's like, oh, he's so weird. Oh, he's so cool. And I'm just like, the dude wants to suck his own dick, and he's still seen as a sex idol. What is going wrong with the world that we're living in?
You know,
I'm actually going to see Marilyn Manson Tuesday. Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie.
Are you gonna see him at his house and just like, give him a...
I am. I'm actually knocking on his door and I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey.
To be honest, I think it would be good publicity if you take a copy of your book with you and beat him over the head with it.
Just hold this for a minute.
Yeah.
No, I saw them in 1994. They were like an hour away from here, and I drove out, and there was like people were picketing and shit. So it was the only time he was going to be allowed to perform in Utica.
Right.
Which was, so I went out there and I saw him then. That was cool. I mean, his stage show, he had, like, this podium. He's, like, 12 feet in the air like he's Hitler, chanting along with the songs. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. So now I'm taking my son. It's a circle of life sort of thing.
Oh, he's gonna just absolutely, he'll never forget that as long as he lives.
I took him to a concert this summer, because his favorite band is Slipknot. My son plays bass and guitar. Taught himself. He can't read music. And, he got to meet the lead singer for Slipknot.
Corey Taylor, isn't
it? Yep. Shook his hand. And he's like, yeah, you got the coolest mom ever. Sam's like, yeah. And he went like all schoolgirl. Oh my God, Mom, can you believe that? Yeah, I can. Come on, let's go get our fucking seats and a beer. So, but it was a good show, and I was happy we were able to do it for him. So
he should have offered to go down on him or something.
Yeah. Baby, shut up a second. Mummy's working. So, how you doing?
You want to go backstage, right, Sam? Just turn around.
Yeah, I'm married, but it's okay. You're on my list.
Yeah.
I've only actually been to, like, 2 live gigs. One of them, I'm very proud of. I went and saw the Spice Girls. Obviously, I was younger.
Wow.
That was enjoyable. And they had like a warm-up band of like Cleopatra. They were big in the UK at the time. They had like one song that was like Cleopatra, coming at you, Cleopatra, coming. That's basically the entirety of the song. And it was interesting. They also had like an ABBA tribute, so that was fun. And then I saw, like when I was 16, 17, I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Millennium Stadium.
Oh, sweet.
And they were absolutely fantastic. Not only were they absolutely brilliant, but they had 2 warm-up acts. One of them was, I believe it was called Chicks on Speed, and they had a really phenomenal song, and they got bottled off the stage. And basically it goes, we don't need blokes, we got strap-ons. We don't need blokes, we got strap-ons. And that continued for about 5 minutes. They didn't get asked for an encore, which was a terrible, terrible shame. I personally thought it was hilarious. And the next warm-up act, which I was not expecting, but was absolutely brilliant because it was one of his last performances, was James Brown. And it was unreal. I mean, I was kind of drunk at the time, and I may have also...
That's all right, because you can't understand what he's saying anyway.
But it was still absolutely incredible. It was a magical experience. I also met, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. You know Jackass? Well, there's like an English equivalent called, or Welsh equivalent called Dirty Sanchez. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
No.
I met like 3 of the main guys from Dirty Sanchez, and we ended up getting hammered and passing the peace pipe. It was interesting. it was fantastic. But yeah, no, Spice Girls was a total highlight.
Now you should have run the video camera and made them do all kinds of crazy stuff.
That was before camera phones were big, though. I mean, that was like when like the best camera phone you could get was just one that could take an image, and even then, that was like, holy shit, you can take pictures on your phone, you know. Not
That's
like
why it always pays to take a camcorder with you wherever you go.
Yeah, you need a big funky 30mm one. Just stick it on your shoulder. Come on.
That's right. Well, you know, in my days, we had to put everything on stone tablets, so, you know,
I tell while I etch you.
Yeah.
Don't move, let me get my chisel, I need the other one.
Now, my concerts were Jethro Tull, Queensryche, Led Zeppelin, all the old bands, ZZ Top, and I think the latest one that I saw was the last See, I have a problem remembering concerts. I don't know why. I think they pump it in the air, or I pump it in my lungs, or something. No, it was Paul McCartney's Freedom Tour right after 9/11. He came over to the United States, and he rocked the house. We were in Indianapolis, and it was fantastic. Sir Paul McCartney. He can give a good party. That's definitely.
That's brilliant.
Nice.
Well, anyway, please tell us about your book.
Oh Lord. What do you want to know about it? It's a young adult or new adult. I don't know what this new adult thing is. Apparently, it's like some kind of crossover or something. You know, for like grown-ups that are too immature to read grown-up books or something. I guess I don't know. But it's got fantasy and paranormal stuff and a little bit of everything just thrown in the blender.
What's the story about?
Okay, there's a 16-year-old girl. Well, she's 16 when the series starts because it's a book series. Her dad's been in a lunatic asylum because he firebombed a church, killed 8 people. So she's just been living with her mom, and it turns out she's a phoenix. She can basically control fire. She can call fire. She doesn't know that, though. The person that she thought was her mom is a revenant, which for me, I know there's another YA series out there where revenants are like vampires. Mine are more zombie-like. They're skeletal.
I always thought that revenants were like vampire spirits, like not actually vampires, but as in like spirits that feed off the life force of the living.
Right. It was one of those, like on our History Channel and whatnot. I was watching something, History of Vampires or something a few years ago, and they were talking about revenants. It was French, I think. I don't remember. But it was they were kind of like half zombie, half vampire. Yeah. And I wanted something that, I didn't want zombies. I don't know why. I mean, I like zombies. I think they're pretty cool, but, they smell.
I'll have over at a party anytime.
Why not? Hey, come on. The more the merrier. But, so it really centers around her trying to figure out her place in this mythical land that kind of overlaps the real world. Because truthfully, I suck at world building. So I thought, if it's kind of running parallel to it, there I can just pull from what I already know. But, I mean, I like the story. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's got some romance in it, but, kind of got to.
And J.K. Rowling did. She couldn't world build either, so she had kids go to a subway and then, move into the new world over there.
Right.
But
and it worked for her, so damn it.
Yeah, it did. But, talking about the whole myth thing, I think that by having the mother somewhat a zombie, vampirish revenant, I think that you're speaking to the entire mother genre there. I know my mother was a half zombie vampire. No, I'm just kidding. Mom, please don't strike fear down upon my enemies. And it's so, and we need myth today. I mean, the last time we had a good mythological telling, last time we had a good hero story was, Star Wars. And since then we've been living off of, Homer and the Iliad and all that stuff, so.
Right, and I took, there's vampires, and vampires, they're so hot right now. But I didn't, considering my main character is 16, and I happen to have a couple of kids here at home, my vampires, they don't just come out at night. They certainly don't sparkle. Because I'm hard-pressed to think of a parent who lets their 16-year-old out at 3 o'clock in the morning to go make out with somebody and whatnot. So I took a lot of liberties with, I guess it's not really taking liberties. I just changed up some of the myth for a lot of these things. And then, the Chupacabra, for instance, it's mentioned in the story. It's not like this main character, but I put this spin on it that, of course you've heard of those, and they're eating farm animals and stuff. But what if I told you they were really, this cross between this kind of creature and that kind of creature, and it was banished here or whatever. In the second book, I played with the Lizzie Borden myth because I love the Lizzie Borden story, and I made that a vampire-esque creature that killed her parents because she was in love with it. So, I wanted to take a little bit of, real stuff that and then change it up just to make you wonder, wow, could that really happen? That's kind of plausible, maybe,
Well, you know why Lizzie Borden killed her parents, don't you?
Why's that?
They made her drink Jägermeister.
Hey!
I thought you were saying because she wouldn't take him to a Slipknot concert.
That's right.
I sleep with one eye open and lock my door. My kid's right across the hall. He scares me anyway. I love him, but the kid, I'm not. We're getting ready for that party last night, and he's like, "You've got to put me in a costume." Okay, well, what do you want? Well, can you just make me look like a skeleton? And it's got to glow in the dark. And can I go up in the field and be covered in blood? Wow, kid, sure. Mommy's so proud.
Yeah, let me just get a glow stick.
Can I hang the severed hand around my neck if you want?
He should have asked to be he should have asked to be a skeleton about 4 months ago, and you just cut him off at the dinner table and like, oh, there you are, son. Now you're
exactly. You're done. You're done. No more Pop-Tarts for you, boy.
Yeah, all we got to do is just that little hunger pot belly. We got to get rid of that. So.
Yeah.
What is it with these poor, starving African children, and they've got big bellies? I don't understand.
Oh God!
It's the rice. All they eat is rice. You know, that's carbs. It's right gut.
It's gas then, because every time I eat rice, but
they're living off rice and beans. It's bound to happen.
You see these commercials with these poor children, and they're starving. And
when I was a kid, they would be on all the time. Spend $15 a month, and you can feed a village for 10 years or whatever. Do you know, to this day, like if I'm outside, we're having a barbecue, and I've got a beer, I've got to put something over the top because I'm all worried flies are going to go in it, or they're going to be like all over my eyes and shit, and my mouth is going to be crusty. That ruined me. I was scared to death. I was getting flies crawling in my eyes.
Oh, well, that's a bonus, though, really.
Yeah. Oh God. And see, and I'm not afraid of spiders, but damn, not flies. God, that's gross. Ew. Well, they like puke where they eat and stuff. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. I like telling people that at barbecues, especially when... Yeah, I go up to people and I go, you know that fly that was on your potato salad you just ate, whenever a fly lands, he has to suck up the potato salad, but he shits in order to do it. And in order to eat a potato salad, he vomits and dissolves it. And then when he sucks it up, he ain't got enough room, so he cramps on your potato salad and then leaves. So how'd you like your vomit-infested, shit-covered potato salad?
I mean, as bad as that sounds...
Please, sir, can I have some more?
I mean, as bad as that sounds, I mean, how's honey made, you know? It's like the exact same process, but still everyone's like, oh, honey, it's amazing. Yeah, I put it in my coffee. I put it on toast. And it's like, right, well, what exactly is it? And it's like, well, bee excrement.
Delish.
I didn't know that. Well, I guess that's one less thing I'm going to cover.
And I don't eat honey, so it's all good for me.
Yeah, the stingers hurt.
But see, I have a life-threatening bee allergy. That, pineapples. That's the only thing I'm allergic to. So my kids are like, oh, wow, you should try this. It's fresh honey. No, I think it might kill me. It probably won't, but I'm not, you know. No, Mommy's not going to eat that. You eat it.
Whatever happened to your philosophy, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger?
For the kids. Right. We've got insurance on them. Screw that. Mom's going to sublet your room.
all about the insurance now. And I want to know who the first guy was that married a pine tree with an apple tree. I mean, like, brilliant. I mean, who would have known? Straw apple. Why didn't they put strawberries and apple together? No, they had to put pineapples.
That would be pretty awesome. It's a strawberry bush. Come on. They're just watching it. They start setting the mood, so they play some Barry White. And they're like, come on, pollinate, come on, pollinate. Do it. You just demon. Do it. Just all these scientists.
Candles out in the orchard burning.
Exactly. They're just there watching. Come on, do it. Do it. Chanting. It'd be really disturbing. I mean, to be honest, what really disturbs me more, although as nice as being able to make pineapples that way would be really cool, is, like the discovery of AIDS. That's definitely more interesting. That was like the designer disease of the day back in the 1980s. Every man and their dog was like suddenly discovering AIDS. Well, actually, no.
Well, that was because a cameraman gave Snickers to a starving child.
I thought it was
that's how that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just it. I mean, people are saying that AIDS originated from monkeys, aren't they? Or is that the correct term? Should I say primates or something? Primates? I don't know. But they're saying that, like, obviously it originated with that particular species. And the only ways that it could be contracted by a human would be either by eating said monkey or by having sex with the monkey and contracting the disease that way. And I mean, like, you could just imagine the first guy when he got diagnosed with AIDS, and he's just like, well, what happened? I don't know. I just, I'm just really, really, really poorly. I don't know what happened. And go, well, there's only two ways. One of the ways, you had sexual contact with an animal. The other way is you ate it. Oh, I ate it. Yeah, no, I ate the shit out of it. Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Well, I got no room to talk.
No.
Yeah.
If it had only been a primate, I think that would have been a lot better. But as it is now, but
I'll tell you what. My wife, she decided that she wanted to take up crocheting, and it kind of startled me because she's listened to the podcast, and she was like, you know what? I was like, what? What's up? I want to do crocheting, and I was like, you're fucking kidding me, seriously? What's wrong with you? A cat's male to begin with. And she's like, no, I want to knit. And I was like, okay, alright, fine. Well, as long as that's what it's actually for, I don't mind. And so she went out and she got like this crocheting hook and everything else. But we got a really small crochet hook, so I'm not sure whether it's applicable in extracurricular activities.
that's just small ones are called foreplay. That's really all it is.
Yeah, this is just teasing.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any of the benefit, but we're going to bloody try.
Those are for children to try experimental for their children, the kitty children. Lisa, I want to ask you a few questions for our questionnaire.
Go for it.
All right. Here's the first one. What would you like inscribed on your headstone or urn?
What do I want? Okay. Well, it can't be an urn because I'm scared to death of being burnt alive. So, and I know that would be my luck. Yeah, she's dead. Go ahead and cremate her. No!
So you want the minister to double tap you first?
Exactly. I think when I was growing, like I say, I lived in a really small town where there was nothing, not even a gas station. And we used to walk around, me and a couple of my friends, and we'd walk around the cemetery for kicks. And, we'd see, like, the really cool carved headstones, and we'd make up, like, a stupid story, like, hey, all they ever found was that kid's hat and boots and that. So, I think I want, like, a really cool symbol on my headstone. Like, like a crossbow, inside a triangle, inside a circle. And then I want the Latin phrase, connectu quis hoc dicit, written on it.
That's what happened when Socrates threw up from drinking Jägermeister.
Well, I want that. It actually means, guess what this says? Because I want some kid to be walking around and be like, yeah, she was a spy or she was this. Now she's a smartass, actually. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what I'd got to have something cool to make people wonder. This side up or something like that.
You wouldn't want something like Blessed Be or something on it?
What about if you had
No.
What about if you had your hand attached before you're actually buried, and then you just got your hand sticking out from the grave? That'd be pretty awesome,
dude,
right?
Have it mummified like a claw.
Brilliant. Just the kids walking around. They can even hold the flowers, when people come to
put some robotics in it so when the kids get close, it like has its finger like summoning them.
Yeah, or it's like one of those, like the candy bowls for Halloween, where you got the hand that just wait, and when they go near it, it slams down and grabs them. That's what you need. Like a little motion sensor with your severed hand. That'd be brilliant.
I could send my overflow cat population there too.
Till they run off with the fingers.
What do you got there, Fluffy? Oh, man, that's cool.
Well, it happened. My cat killed the person.
I think they go for the eyeballs. I don't know. They always go for mine. What, if anything, terrifies you?
Oh, my God. Everything terrifies me. I'm such a wimp. Seriously. I guess something happening to my kids. The thought of it does. My son just, when he was 4, he was in a car accident and they got hit head on. And he broke the tibia and fibula in both of his legs. Oh. And he'd been with his grandparents going to the zoo. And the hospital had called and said what happened. So we had to drive like an hour and a half to get there. And I remember them calling. We were about halfway there. And they're like, are you on your way? Yeah. Can you pull over? And I think there was only one other time I've ever been more frightened than that. And that's, my youngest, Haley, was born with 16 tiny holes in her heart. And we didn't know until she was 2, and they were out on the trampoline jumping. And the next thing I know, I hear my one daughter, Claudia, is screaming, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy." So I went outside, and there was Sam, and Sam was maybe 8 at the time, and he was carrying Haley in his arms. She was just blue and just, oh, that was, yeah, I can't think, I mean, you know, movies will scare me, you know, flies scare me, but something happening to my kids just because I've done that, I know that terrifies me. And I'm forever worried, you know, Haley plays softball, and I'm worried she's going to get hit with a softball, and her heart's going to stop, and, you know.
You know, you were telling us a story. You were actually headed to the hospital when they told you to pull off the road?
Yeah, well, oh, God, so funny.
You left me there. I was, like, dying.
Yeah, oh, no. Yeah, they had to take him in to do surgery. They weren't sure. They were trying to give him medication to calm him down because they had airlifted him to this hospital, but his grandparents had gone to a different one, so he was all alone. They needed permission to do surgery to set the bones in his legs.
Oh, yeah.
So and it was so funny because when we got there, he's laying in this bed with these machines hooked up and whatnot, and he just looks, he's, "Mommy, my legs got broke." "Oh, it's okay, honey." Well, they were doing an upgrade to the hospital's electrical system. So we knew when he was out of surgery because there was like 250 workers there all to do this upgrade, all standing around waiting for him to get out of surgery. We knew he was done because the hospital went black for about a minute, and then the lights came back on. But yet he actually had casts on both his legs up to his thighs. And he was in a wheelchair for 8 weeks, and then he had a walker with new casts, and then he had to learn to walk again.
You know, if they had just put hinges on him, that would have been so cool. And
right. Well, you know, because I'm such a great parent. He was in kindergarten at the time, so his principal and his teacher came out to the house, you know, to see when he got home. He was in hospital for about 2 weeks. And he was sitting in his wheelchair playing video games. He had a big screen TV, and he's got his Xbox, and yay, so excited, wrestling and stuff, and talking to the teachers. Next thing you know, you hear a thud. The kid fell out of the wheelchair. I could do nothing but laugh. My husband had to put him back in the wheelchair. It was so bad. We're terrible people. We wouldn't take him up and down the stairs. We made him have to, like, crawl. Like, I don't know if you've, I'm trying to think. There's a movie where the chick is, like, climbing on the ceiling. It might be in The Ring, where she's, like, spider-like crawling, and that's what he had to do to get around the house. Oh, my God.
That was my first marriage.
I think that was the last exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be. I saw a commercial for it, but, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with Jennifer Carpenter. I believe she's crawling up the walls and stuff.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, God.
Well, Lisa, let's say your children are all right, your family's all right. There's no need to be terrified of them.
Okay.
What beside that terrifies you?
And beside flying pineapples.
Yeah.
That's right.
Flying pineapples, definitely. I am scared to death of heights. As in, like, I won't stand on a footstool and look down because I just know I'm going to fall and break my neck. I know it. I'll be, like, paralyzed, and I'll be shitting myself, and my husband's going to have to wipe my ass, and it'll be bad. So I'm scared to death of heights and fire,
God,
being burned.
That's one of my wishes.
I see. I can understand.
You
that,
wish for my husband to wipe your ass, Jay? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably do it. He's kind of a freak, but
Just cup your hands. Do it. No, I actually in regards to heights, I actually had a friend. I mean, it was last year, and it was on my birthday, and we decided to go out for a picnic with the entire family, all my kids and all their kids, and everyone was having a great time. And it's like, hey, why don't we play hide and seek? That'll be fun. Yeah, my friend, he's terrible at hide and seek. He tried to climb a tree, and he fell out the tree. It wasn't that high off the ground at the time. He was probably about 6 feet, 7 feet off the ground, and the branch gave way, and he fell backwards, and he just hit the floor with a thud, and he ended up just like shattering his spine. And that was an exciting birthday. And I was just thinking, I was like, what the hell? I mean, when I was a kid, I used to climb up to like 15 feet, 20 feet to the top of these trees, and I'd just jump out. I didn't give a shit. I'd hit the floor like a sack of shit, and I'd roll around for a bit, but I'd get up and stumble home, you know?
Well, that's because you're really Batman, but...
A Batman? No, I was really stupid. I'm pretty sure I've got a thick skull because there's been many times when I've been hit in the face with like chairs. I was like outside where I was telling you about the woods with the porn magazines. Well, this same woods, it's got like all these inclines and these like rocky ledges and everything else. And I'd be running around playing Manhunt with all my friends, and I'd just like trip and fall down, crack my head, or sometimes when you're playing touch or whatever in the forest, like the way of tagging someone is by hitting them with a big ass stick, and I got cracked around the head a few times. Yeah.
Well, you grew up in a woodland, pretty rough woodland neighborhood there.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic area. You just had to make sure you not only had thick skin but thick skull, otherwise you'd suffer severe brain trauma.
You got invited to all the baseball games. They didn't pick you at this time.
Unfortunately, we didn't have baseball in the UK. We had there's probably softball in places, and there's probably is baseball like at academies or something, but it's mainly rounders, which is like these tiny little bludgeons like the bobbies used to use back in ye old days of old, and these tiny little balls, but. Yeah, no, that was pretty much it when it comes to bat sports. Other than, obviously in the UK we focus mainly on cricket, which is it's an interesting sport.
Yeah, what's a sticky wicket, by the way?
A sticky wicket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's different terms. One of them could be a way of saying you've got a sticky wicket. You could be talking about your John Thomas or your Johnson, your penis, basically.
Why would they say that in all the movies? Oh, I see. That's a sticky wicket, isn't it?
Oh, well, it's all depending on the situation. Some people just say, obviously, it's a way of saying you've got a dirty penis. Well, that's the most familiar term I'm with.
That's why you laugh.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Now, Lisa, that's a perfect segue into this next question.
This is a sticky wicket.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Besides your family, name something or someone you are willing to die for. Besides your family.
Besides my family and a sticky wicket, what would I be willing to die for? I'm pretty damn selfish. I don't know if I'd die for anything. Screw that. Yeah. God. Let me try and think of something noble. My country. No. Really? I honestly, maybe for a belief. If there was something I believed so devoutly, maybe then I would. But yeah, no, I'm really selfish. I don't think I'd die for anything. There's enough other people in line to die before me, But,
your best friend gets captured and a gun put to their head. Either tell us the secret or they die. Well, fuck the bitch, kill her.
Yeah. Shoot that dumb bitch. I know who you mean, and she's fucked anyway.
Hey, they were dumb enough to get caught. Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. Idiot, learn to run. I thought about, after 9/11, I thought about enlisting in the military, and my dad, who served in Vietnam, actually talked me out of it. He's like, no, you don't do that. Don't do that. So now I'm kind of glad I didn't, but, for a time there, because, everyone waving their flags and whatnot. Oh, yeah, it's time to be patriotic. And, either be patriotic all the time or not at all.
I think what they should have done, the United States should have gone over to Afghanistan and taken all the Taliban, captured them, brought them back over to the States, and let them loose in the United States. And just had open season on them. That would have been so cool.
I was telling my husband, I said, instead of sending the military, why don't you go to prisons and tell these people, okay, you were a murderer. I'm going to give you an option here. We'll give you a gun and we're going to drop you off over there and you can go shoot the bad guys. And if you don't get killed, you can be free. That's actually
the premise for a famous movie called The Dirty Dozen. Lee, have you heard of that movie?
Yeah, I've heard of Dirty Dozen. There's a few other ones. I read a novel about Last Chances or something. It was all about like these ex-cons, but most of them for war crimes anyway. Obviously, there was the A-Team. But no, when I think of convicts that have been sent on a mission to kill, I think of like more recent media added like Death Race with Jason Statham, as opposed to the remake of Death Race 2000 with Sylvester Stallone. Another one was Condemned. Obviously, it's pretty much everything's in the name, and that's with Steve Austin and Vinnie Jones.
That was a great movie.
It wasn't bad. I was expecting it to be absolutely terrible, but no, it was. I quite enjoyed it.
I would totally watch that on pay-per-view.
What about Gamers? Wasn't there one called
That's
Gamer?
it, Gamer. That's what I was thinking of with Gerard Butler and Michael C. Hall, who, by the way, I fucking love that man. Dexter.
I love that part where he deliberately got drunk. And I thought, what the hell is he doing? This guy was really thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I
still struggle to see Gerard Butler as a badass after seeing him in Phantom of the Opera, you know?
Well, I never saw that. I always thought it was a play.
Oh, that was actually really good. I liked Phantom of the Opera.
Just an awkward silence. It was like, nope.
But we were giving respect to the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, Lisa, what is your least favorite type of people?
This is easy. I don't like people who pretend to be stupid.
Huh?
You know, like the ones that they'll act like they don't, like, oh, I don't know, I can't do the laundry because I don't know how to use the washing machine. Shut the fuck up. It's not that hard, okay? You know, people that pretend to be stupid because they're too lazy to do something.
Uh-huh.
You know, oh, I can't do it because I don't know how. I wouldn't know where to begin. Okay, at the beginning, fucking figure it out. You know? I mean, I firmly believe that anything worth having and achieving is going to be difficult to get. You know, there's no excuse to be lazy. So yeah, stupid people. I don't like and I mean, like, I will get livid, pissed off when someone pretends to be stupid. I don't care if they're like my offspring or not.
You know, it takes a certain amount of intelligence to make stupid people.
So when you were talking about getting hammered drunk at Disneyland, was it just for a bit of Dutch courage so you could beat the hell out of Goofy?
Yeah. No, I actually did. I did accost Mickey Mouse, though. I did jump him. Mickey, I love you! And I jumped on him. It was very classy.
You gave Mickey a Mickey.
I did. Poor guy. He has the biggest hands.
Is he proportionate?
He seemed to be. And quite happy to see me, if I could just say that.
What is his shoe size? That's what I want to know.
Very large. It was incredibly large.
Unbelievable. More than what was necessary. Lisa,
yes.
What writer, living or dead, would you like to spend an evening with?
Oh, man. Like talking to him, or no? I'm kidding.
Absolutely. Well, entire evening. Boy, no, you can sit and stare at them.
Yeah, you can just watch them from the window.
There's a few that I would actually just gawk at and just, oh, look. Now, I think J.R. Ward, she writes this
Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Yeah, I have a Black Dagger Brotherhood tattoo, and I drove out to Cincinnati like 12 hours just so she could sign my book because I'm an idiot. But I like the way that she writes, you know, like using POS instead of actually writing out piece of shit. And for some reason, she gets away with it, where if I did that, I'd be called lazy. But it's okay for her.
Right.
But, yeah, she just, I don't know, the way that she writes, I think, is brilliant. I really do. As far as somebody dead, I don't know if they're really, I guess traditionally they're not thought of as a writer, but John Quincy Adams. I would love to be able to hang out with John Quincy Adams.
President?
Yes, yep. President. Before that, he was an ambassador. I've read some of letters that he wrote to his wife and whatnot, and just his insights on things. You know, especially now, you got the whole president. You know, all that crap going on. And, there was this president that did this, and I'm like Reagan, and I'm like this one and that one. I guess I really like John Quincy Adams. I would totally hang out with him.
Was he the son or the father of John Adams?
He was the son, I believe.
Oh, okay, all right. Sort of like
sort
of like W, except way back when.
Yeah, and with apparently more intelligence. But
right.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the time period because I really like that time period in American history. So maybe that's why. I just want to sit there, and watch them weed the garden and talk about slaves or something.
They had to have been tough back then. They didn't have indoor plumbing, and exactly. Where'd the hot showers come from? So And there was no place to plug in their laptops either, so it was just totally...
Right? Thank goodness for Ben Franklin, because he had that kite going that he plugged into his laptop.
Absolutely. That was electrifying.
Which made it great, yeah. Able to spell check everything he wrote.
Right. Well, Lisa, what would you consider your greatest challenge in life?
Greatest challenge? Oh, God. I guess my kids are my greatest challenge. And I say that because Haley, like with the heart stuff, but Sam, the one that I've been talking about, actually has an autism spectrum disorder. So, it's called PDD, pervasive developmental disorder, that affects his social skills. So, like other kids, like he played football last year, and other kids that are on the team that, parents like, oh, that's great. It was kind of huge for Sam to put himself in front of people like that. He failed classes because he wouldn't get up and, do a presentation in front of the class. But, my kids are my greatest challenge. If you look around, trying to raise them so that they're decent human beings is a challenge in and of itself. If you look at the way people look at things now, and it's about what you have and not what you are.
Right.
Yeah, I got aggravated. I think it was like Monday of last week. That I know there was this girl that got bullied, and she put some video on YouTube. And then she ended up, she killed herself. And it's a tragedy. But I got pissed off because somebody made this RIP whatever page for her. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, yeah, like if you're against bullying. Well, I think that's bullshit. If you're against bullying, for instance, turn off your freaking computer and go out and do something about it.
I know, right?
That's just fucking, I'm against it. Well, of course you are. Sit around idle and see how far you get.
That's some of the biggest bullshit that Facebook's brought about, and it makes me, I fucking fume when I read this shit. Because, you get all these posts going around saying, like, little John was murdered, or little John died of whatever disorder. I mean, most people, they won't have the balls to like this. Do you? Share this, like this link, and they just post all these fucking, like, some of them are just completely fabricated stories. I mean,
it's such like the bullies. Okay, so you're against, then when you're sitting back and, Sally Jones is getting pushed into a fucking locker, stand up for her.
Exactly.
That's too bad. I'm going to go home and make a Facebook page.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just saw a kiddie get wedgied. I'm going to tweet about it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
what's the saying? If you're not part of the problem, you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And kids are fucking lazy. I mean, I love my kids, but, I don't want to intervene. I don't want to help. I might get bullied. So fucking what? It's part of life,
Yeah,
I was the little fat poor kid growing up. I know all about bullying.
Same here.
But, balls out, man up.
I actually had it quite harsh. I mean, when I was little, not only was I the little, first I was a little fat kid, then I was the little fat British kid, because I moved briefly over to the Canada when I was, 7, 8 years old. And obviously being Canadian, I lived there for the first 3 years. I was like, I'm amongst my people. I can finally, I finally feel at home. Yeah, no, I had the shit bullied out of me, like, every single day. Even it got to the point where the teachers they didn't care. I mean, the teachers just like, whatever, just take your seat. And I'd be sat there in class, and I'd be having books thrown at me and shoes thrown at me. Like, sometimes I was too embarrassed to ask to go to the toilet, because obviously in the British language, in the English language, like, I'm like, bathroom, toilet, bog. That's where it was in England, but like I had to, like, one day I had to actually think of all the different words for it, just so everyone wouldn't laugh at me when I wanted to go. So it was like, right, what is it? And I was going through all these words in my head, and I was like, I've got it. So I stood up and I said, miss, can I go to the washroom, please? And no one said anything, and I was just like, fucking yes, I did it, That's like stage one. Now I can go to the fucking bathroom without fucking being hassled. But, from that point onwards, I mean, I started to develop a bit of an anger issue. And it didn't exactly help when I started to go through my teenage years, and suddenly I went from being like the little fat kid to the slightly bigger kid to the biggest kid, and I was like 6'5", and I don't really, my stance on bullying is simple. Just snuff it out. If there's someone that's going to go around pushing other people around, just fucking stop it then and there. You don't say, that's inappropriate. You pack it in.
Yeah.
And if that's not enough, then you pin them down, you fucking wedgie them yourselves, How does it feel, fucker?
Yeah. Yeah, well, when my son was in, like, the 4th grade, he was getting bullied by this kid. I mean, Sam now, at not quite 17, is, like, 6'2.5".
Yeah.
And back then, I mean, he was, like, a foot taller than this kid. So, he's coming home and he's getting bullied and stuff. See, I talked to the teacher, I talked to the person, I did all that shit I was supposed to do, and they did nothing. So finally I'm like, you know what, next time he does it, Sam, you pop his son of a bitch and ass right in the fucking nose and you make him bleed.
Hells yeah.
Well, he's like, I'm gonna get sent to the office. Okay, sit there, fold your arms, and say, call my mother. Say nothing else, like he'd been arrested. And he did, and I got a phone call, and the principal actually referred to the child as Sam punched his arch nemesis. Well, if this is his arch nemesis, why the fuck didn't you do something before?
Exactly, if you already knew about it, why didn't you deal with it?
Yes, I went in, I picked up my son, I took him out for pizza. Fuck that. The kid then, like a week later, they moved. I'm like, there you go, that problem's done and over with. Wash your hands, Sam, it's good.
I wish I had a solution like that. When I was in Canada, I was in Edmonton, and it was the same school I was getting bullied at. And obviously, there was like heavy snow, and so you had to have like special snow boots, which is probably a common thing. But in the UK, it's really unheard of to go out and get specific snow boots for, when it fucking snows. Normally you just got shoes. That's it. Or wellies if it's really fucking wet. But, obviously I had these snow boots, and, there was this one day, and it was terrible outside, and, some of the other kids thought it would be funny to, hide my snow boots, so they threw it in a trash can outside. And I tried to tell the teacher, and the teacher was like, it's not my problem, whatever, go deal with it yourself. And so I went out, tried to walk outside to get my snow boots, and I almost ended up with frostbite on my feet. And from that point, I started to get quite nasty. So, I came back in, I lashed out. I walked in holding my snow boots in my hand, threw one at the teacher, effing and blinding, and threw the other one at one of the kids that was bullying me. It wasn't the best way to deal with it, but I was pissed off. I mean, my mum, as much as I love her to bits, but she's always been pro-peace, She hasn't been anti-war, she's been pro-peace, because to be anti-anything is to be fucking negative, And so she's always like, we can deal with this bully thing, you just got to sit down and talk to them about it, but it doesn't work all the time, because sometimes the kids don't want to listen. I mean, they've probably got enough problems going on at their own home that they need to take it out on someone else to make themselves feel better,
Right. And I mean, I expect a certain amount of bullying. That's how, you learn how to handle certain shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an issue when my daughter was in the 5th grade, my youngest daughter. I'd gone out to Salem, and I came back, and I brought all my kids special pentacles. So Haley had hers on, and she went to school, and the teacher told her, you need to take that off. And Haley's like, well, no, this is kind of my thing, go tell the kid next to me to take off the cross, and I'll take off my pentacle. And the teacher said, and I quote, I'm not allowing any devil worshippers in my class.
Jesus Christ.
So Haley came home and told me, I'm like, okay, baby, you wear it to school. Go ahead and wear your Blessed Be sweatshirt. That's fine. Went to school. I went in to have lunch, and I put the teacher against the wall and said, look, you want to try and bully someone? I'm her mother. She's like 9, okay? You can deal with me. Principal escorted me out of the school, but we didn't have a problem again. My other daughter last year, oh man, bullying was terrible last year. And actually, she was leaving to get on the school bus one day, and in front of a teacher that I went to school with back when we were kids, another girl called my daughter a snatch-eating dyke. In front of a teacher, Claudia stopped, and Claudia doesn't know if she's gay. I mean, she's going to be fucking 13. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
And that teacher looked right at her and shrugged and went and got in his car. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, So,
that's and when why I think children should have firearms. That's all there is to
it. Yeah, that would solve everything.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, like I said, I think there needs to be a certain amount of bullying, because it's going to happen when your adults get bullied, and you have to learn how to deal with it, whether it's in the workplace or wherever, Yeah. But there's got to be a limit. And if there's an adult right there seeing, like with my daughter, I mean, come on. And what was my youngest daughter supposed to do with this teacher? Tell her to shut the fuck up? I mean, she's not Sam. Sam would do it, but, Haley won't. She's the good one. I can't get the kid to say damn.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if you've got a 13-year-old kid there and they start talking stuff like that, you tell them straight. You tell them to shut the hell up. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, my oldest girl, she's there telling me like all her friends are saying all these nasty things about so and so, and they're all passing rumours around, and I'm just like, no, pack it in. I mean, it's horrible. It's a horrible thing to do. And like my little girl comes in stomping, and she's like, oh, I hate so and so because they said a mean word, and it's just like, you don't hate anyone. Never hate anyone. Hate's an incredibly strong word, you know. You could take a disliking to them, fine, and if you have a big problem with them and you can't talk it out with them, then I'll have words with their parents. Although most of the time I say I have words with their parents, I tell my daughters or whatever to say, if you've got a problem with whoever it is, tell them that your daddy's going to beat the hell out of their daddy. You know? sometimes that's enough. I mean, when I'm putting my kids on the bus or whatever, the other kids just look at me and I'll just like frown or something, and then that's it. Everyone's like, your dad's a psycho, and it's like, yes. I would rather be known as a scary dad who will do anything to protect his kids than let any kind of shit happen to him, you know?
Exactly. You know, I told my son, like, going to parties and shit, you know, you get drunk, call me, I'll pick you up, don't get behind the wheel, you know, I promise I won't yell at you till you're sober, because I'd rather be that uncool bitch mom
when you have the hangover
that's alive than, you know, the cool mom at a funeral.
No, absolutely.
But, yeah. So...
So that was your greatest challenge. Well, what one weapon, Lisa, would you choose in the event of a zombie apocalypse?
Oh my God! Like, I think, would it depend on how you get the infection? I mean, if it's like an infection, like if they're gonna cough on me, I don't want to get too close. But, you know, if I've got to, like, ingest their blood, you know.
Let's say, like, traditional zombie apocalypse, well, traditional Romero zombie apocalypse, in which case they have to actually bite you. It's not some sort of pathogen passed around in the air.
All right. You know what? I think I'll go with a longbow. I can shoot a longbow. My kids can shoot. 2 of my 3 kids are dead-eye bullseye shots, and I can make arrows. You know, and I'm out here in the sticks. There's lots of trees. So, I mean,
do you know what the profession is called?
What?
Archer?
Arrow making. Do you know what the profession is called?
No.
A Fletcher. People who.
A Fletcher. Okay. Yeah. I've heard the term before. But I actually, in our house, when we bought our house, we came up with an apocalypse plan. How crazy is that? I'm like, I know which floor. Well, you know, our house, it's so shoddily built. It was built right on the concrete foundation. So I'm like, okay, when the world comes to an end, like on Revolution, there's no more electricity, you know, and the world's gone to shit.
Yeah.
We're going to fill Haley's bedroom up with dirt so we can grow plants all year long. And we're going to rip up the floor in the kitchen because I could build an awesome fire pit to cook there. And we're defensive on 3 sides, and we have a water source, and I'm a product of my father.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic.
You know, my husband look at me and be like, what are you talking about? No, dude, because I'm going to kill you first. You know, I'm just a kid.
Well, it's kind of hard to teach a child to clean up their room if they're thinking that their room's going to be filled with dirt someday.
Yeah, but Mom, what happens if the apocalypse
is here? It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I've already got like a base of compost running. What's your problem? You know, I'm trying to do you a favour.
Right? Help me, help you.
Yeah. God, you're such a hypocrite, Mom.
Exactly. But no, I think a longbow would be good.
A longbow? Well, that would work. Compound or just straight longbow?
Oh, just a straight longbow. That's what I have now. I have a straight longbow that was my great-grandfather's.
Compound bows are for pussies.
Yeah.
You gotta go old medieval style on their ass. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
I mean, I come from a family of like peace-going midgets. They're all around like the 5 foot mark. I kind of attract trouble. I stick out like a sore thumb sometimes. But I mean, there's been occasions where I've gone out to a bar and I've just been there having a laugh, just chatting with friends, you know, drinking socially, doing shots of flaming Zambuca, setting sofas on fire, you know, accidentally, of course. And
of course.
And then I'll just be standing in the toilet, or I'll be outside having a cigarette, and someone will just walk up and try and pick a fight with me. I call it short person syndrome, you know, when someone's got a chip on their shoulder, and they decide they're going to make a name for themselves by trying to beat up the big guy. I don't know. People are so dumb in this world.
Yeah.
What's wrong with people?
God must like stupid people because he made so many of them.
I think it's more if God did put them here, they put them all here to learn, and they're just refusing to do so.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Lazy again. I'm telling you.
You're fucking lazy, Edith.
You don't have to leave your house to get a pizza. Even someone will bring that to you. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't understand why people order a pizza with everything and then a 6-pack of diet drink. You know, I mean, that's supposed to balance it out. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
God! You know, when Titanic first came out in the theater, this place I was working at with developmentally disabled people, and there was this woman, and she was like freaking huge. She's like, oh, I really want to see that. Let's go. All right, I'll go, whatever. Found a babysitter, and we went. She got like the, bathtub full of popcorn and came loaded with candy and bought more candy and then ordered, can I get a small Diet Coke? What for? What for? You're negating the purpose of the diet soda when you have like 30 pounds of fucking chocolate.
Well, some people really like aspartame, which is like a cancer-inducing chemical. They need it. And obviously the small
I want my cancer straight up from cigarettes.
Exactly.
I'm not screwing around with the chemicals.
I can understand the small Coke side of things. So, how many times have you been sat in the cinema and you're like, this film's fucking awesome, and you're like, oh no, I need to pee. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, why did I have that extra large size fucking 2 liters of cola? What's wrong with me? Oh.
We don't have that problem in Alabama because that's when we mark our territory.
Go around. Now, if it was alcohol...
sitting there. Keep on moving.
We're back on the swamping now, so I may as well tell my story. I think the worst I've ever swamped, taking it back a few notches, I was out drinking, and obviously, I didn't do it. I was sober. I just decided, you know what, I really fancy peeing. But no, I was out drinking, and I just got back, and it'd been a long and fucking tiring night. And I got up and I walked into my sister's room. She's asleep. She's like 3 years older than me, and she's passed out. I'm not sure if she was drunk or not. She might have been like stone cold sober. Either way, I walked into her room and I just started peeing on a plug socket. And, I would say sparks are flying, but that would make it sound like a romantic situation. It was nothing like that. I killed myself. And it blew my dick off. Anyway. And then my dad, he comes out of bed and he's like, son, what are you doing? And I'm just standing there with my dick in my hand and I look at him and I'm like, suddenly I start to sober up and I'm like, I'm dancing, Dad, I'm dancing. And I don't know why, but for some reason that was like the best excuse I could think of, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to run downstairs. And so I went downstairs and I finished off going to the toilet. My sister wakes up the next morning and she's like, were you in my bedroom last night? And I was like, no.
I may have danced in and danced out,
yeah,
but
I was dancing at the hallway,
I was doing the old one-handed tango.
Yeah, that song Dancing in the Moonlight? That's what I was doing. I just had the song stuck in my head, so I just thought I'd share the joy. Well, why does my bedroom smell? Your bedroom always smells. You're a fucking teenager. Shut up. Leave me alone. Stop talking to me. And that was it. I was gone. I've got to take the dog for a walk. And then I'm out.
There's so many things you could have told your dad. That's like one of the most, he saw you holding your dick in your hand, and he says, what are you doing? Now you can think of a dozen things. You could have said like, oh, I thought this was an Etch-a-Sketch, or, any number one of smart ass answers.
Yeah.
I'm not doing much. Does it remind you of anything?
Yeah, if I was sober at the time, I might have said something like, I was smoking and the fire started and I tried to put it out. You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. I just saved your life. How does it feel? But on the flip side of that, there is also more ways of making it sound incredibly worse. If I hadn't said I was dancing and you see a teenage boy standing with his dick out, what's the first thing you think? It's not, he's gonna pee. You think, no, he's masturbating. He's thinking he's getting away with it. So
but he's in his sister's room. You're in your sister's room, though.
Exactly. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, son? But yeah, no, I'm not sure if he ever bought the excuse. I'm pretty sure I tried to talk to him about it once when I was drunk, and I think he just decided to block it out of his memory. One of those things he kind of my mum would come out with something like, oh, it's not a big deal, I used to change your diapers, you used to pee all the time. But yeah, that's the excuse. Oh, but that's it, Mum, I regressed. Oh, I was dreaming of when I was a toddler, and that was it. I regressed. I was such a little. My childhood, I absolutely loved my childhood. I was the biggest fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So much, in fact, that it was one of my family friends. It was his birthday, and they brought this guy came over in like this Raphael's like suit, and I was just like, this is the best day of my life. This is fucking incredible. This is Raphael from the Ninja Turtles, and I was like, oh, where's Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello? And he's like, oh, they're out in the van. And so I started trying to follow him outside to like his car, and I was like, that's not the turtle van. My family's trying to put me back in the house and leave the guy alone. I'd already wet myself, so I refused to go to the bathroom. I had to stand with him the entire time. So there's like pictures of me like trying to hold on to Raphael with just a wet like crutch. That was yeah.
He's still in therapy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember this other time, there was a street party going on in Montreal, and I don't know why, I can't remember what I looked like exactly, but my mum always takes great pleasure in telling me I was in a little white sailor suit, so maybe she was setting me up. Maybe she wanted me to go a certain avenue. Anyway, so I was in like a white sailor suit and with a hat, and I was all adorable. And there were some workmen just like working on a sewer system. I just had my face painted to look like Batman. And which was just a bat on my face, like an African bat as well, with like white dots, like tribal markings.
Cool.
Anyway, there was this big grating, and the sewer drain was open, and so I just ran over, dove on the floor, nearly fell down the sewer, and I just started yelling out, Michelangelo! Leonardo, are you there? And while that's happening, all the other kids are like, holy shit, the turtles are down the sewers, and so all these other kids start running over, and before you know it, there's like a commotion with like 30 people crowded around this drain hole cover with me screaming out to the turtles, and all the other kids are screaming. My mum and dad had to drag me away, and I was like, no, everyone's here, they're gonna be here soon, they can hear us.
That would have been, I think that we need to start a new child sensation with creatures that live in the toilet, you know, kind of promote different yelling.
At the moment, the sensation with kids is, you know, glittery adults. It's okay to kiss them if they're covered in body glitter. And it's like, well, no, it's not. My sister's in Gran Canaria. I've seen the pictures. There's a lot of big dudes covered in glitter, and it's not a good thing.
Oh, God. You know, I've got to do that Twilight marathon. They're going to show, like, all 5 movies. Like 13 hours of glittery fucking vampires and topless 16-year-old boys. I just tickled shitless about that. That's going to be exciting.
My wife wants me to avoid talking about Twilight because she's there saying, well, no, there's Twilight fans. And I was like, no shit, there's Twilight fans. All fucking the thing is, yeah, Twilight, the first book, it's okay once you get past the whole, you know, paedophile part. I mean, the problem is, like, whenever it describes Edward Cullen, I just picture Gary Glitter, and he's, you know, fucked. But, or he's fucking. I don't know, I'm not quite sure what the plural is. Anyway. So, the story, you know, the romance, and it's like, oh, wow, it's an emo woman, girl. This is fantastic, and, oh, God. And, like, book 2, I was like, okay, they brought wolves into it. Yeah, I can get behind that. Book 3, I was like, this is building up, this is looking quite interesting, you know, she's back, she's pissed off, she wants revenge. And then it's like, book 4, and it all shit's about to hit the fan, and I was super excited. I was like, fucking, yeah, let's do this, come on. Oh, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before anyway, but I was like, yeah, Stephanie Meyer, go fuck him up. And, like, it builds up, and it's like raising to a fever pitch. All these vampires are coming, they've all got superpowers. Some can, like, change the area that you're in, some can fucking cause, like, physical or psychological harm without, like, showing flash images of, like, naked fat dudes. All kinds of things going on, and it like gets to the point where they all stand in a field staring at each other, and you just stare, and you can just like feel like if as you're reading it, you got goosebumps, and there's like sweat beading on your neck, and you're like, this is it. This is it. This is the moment. This is the moment that's going to define the entire series. This is what's going to justify the last 4 books. It's all come to this point. We knew it was going to happen. This is what it's about. What are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? What? Seriously? You take it, oh my fuck, and then that was it, I just hulked out and started like ripping the paper. I was impressed. I mean, I'm really sincerely hoping that Hollywood does its best and they hire like some fucking genius like screenwriter and decides for the last movie, instead of just standing around and basically it breaking out like a National Lampoon's Jig, where they're all just like dancing or whatever, sharing a drink, I want it to go fucking batshit mental. You know, I don't know if you guys ever seen like The Hills Have Eyes, but there's like the remake of it when there's like the dog and there's like the American flag being used and fucking machine guns, and I was like, yeah, that's an American ending. That's what I want for fucking Part 2. I want them all just to go completely fucking crazy. I don't mind if there's a Star Spangled Banner going on. I just want them to fuck each other up, not just stand there and make kissy faces at each other.
Right. Yeah, you know, I read the books, and I thought the books were okay. I mean, I read like all 4 books in 3 days, and then the movies just, it ruined it for me. I mean, my daughter is all, she has like the 6-foot-tall stand-up of Edward and the one of Jacob, and I'm like, you know what? I'm watching the movie. I'm like, she's so dependent on him, Claudia. Don't be dependent on anybody but yourself. You know, oh, well, she could just die without him. And what the hell's the matter with her father in that second movie? I mean, if my kid was sitting in a room for 4 months and wasn't eating and was, like, not depressed, I'd have him in the hospital or some shit.
Yeah, let's be honest though. It was as Kirsten Stewart's portrayal, she really didn't change all that much.
No.
You know, it's like, this is my depressed face. Right? And this is my birthday face. What's the difference? What do you mean?
This is the I'm happy Edward's back face. I don't know. I mean, they're showing it like, oh, here's October, November. So they show the dad, who I really like on Revolution, by the way. I had to like watch him kick ass, like rewind, play. Oh my God, that was great. I mean, I was like, maybe I'll watch Twilight now.
Exactly. I even liked him in Drive Angry as the bad guy. I was like, come on, Billy.
Yeah.
Fuck him up. But maybe I'm just an incredibly aggressive person, and I think that could be why. Oh, I mean, that's my answer for everything. Fuck him up, you know.
I think it's Jägermeister. I never had it, and I'm not like that at all.
Well, that's the problem. How can you say that? I mean, I've had Jägermeister all the time, and I'm a perfectly normal, well-adjusted human being. I kind of lost the argument there. But I absolutely agree with you. Billy Burke, he's fucking brilliant. But, I mean, yeah, my God.
Yeah, I mean, they show him outside. He's, like, shoveling the driveway, and she's just up there depressed, you know. And her hair looks really nice for someone who's depressed, by the way.
I know,
I've known depressed people. They don't eat. They don't shower. They start to have this funk that's coming off of them. No, she's just sitting there checking email again. Guess what? You've been ignored for 750 emails. He's not going to respond. Deal with it.
I mean,
that's Theresa May. You know, you wash your hair, you never had to wash it again. So.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, but why is it so successful? I don't understand. I mean, I can only watch a depressing emo for so long before I want to hurt myself. You know, it's like they emote their feelings. I'm like, I know what you're thinking, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a razor blade, and I'm just going to go to town on myself. This is fucking depressing. What the hell is wrong with you? I mean,
she was actually in pain, pounding in the bed and writhing, and like, get over it, girlfriend.
I think they should have done, like, with the whole Kirsten Stewart. I mean, obviously Kirsten Stewart, I would say she's not a good actress, but to be honest with you, in that recent Snow White and the Huntsman, she wasn't too bad in that. But I mean, admittedly, she was getting like more emotions passed to her by the director. But like in the Twilight movies, I think they should have just fucking tased her just to get some genuine emotion out of her, where she's like, "Oh my God, Edward, I love you so much." And he's
she's on that motorcycle, and wow, she looks like she smells something awful. Like she's got dog shit on her shoe or something. That look on her face.
Yeah, but that's a face for everything. That's a face for everything. Yeah. That's her emotional range. She just goes from looking depressed to confused. That's it. She's like, what? She does the same thing. She like shakes her head from left to right, and she like scrunches up her nose and her eyebrows. Basically, she looks like she's trying to fucking, I don't know, squeeze a little fart out. She's just like. I'm pretty sure it would be like if they actually enhanced the audio on every single part, it would be like, and Edward suddenly appears as she's on the motorcycle and scene, and she just hear it.
That was actually good. I think I even smell that one. Well, let's continue on the questionnaire because I know we're going to a very dark place with this subject that both of you love so much.
Well, last week was the Hunger Games. We moved on to Twilight. What's next week? What can we hate on next week?
Probably the Titanic again. We could.
There was room for two, okay? I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, truly.
Well, Lisa, what would be your favorite way to die?
Oh, my favorite way to die. Strapped to a chair watching Twilight. No. Just tell me now. No. I think I want to go out. If I'm going out, I want it to be epic. You know, when my mom passed away back in February, and I guess she was lucky because she passed away in her sleep. And I know, like, I want to be like eaten by piranhas or some shit. You know, so my kids can be like, they can go to school. I could see it with my son. And his friends would be like, man, I'm really sorry about your mom. And Sam would be like, yeah, she was like eaten by piranhas. And they'd be like all quiet. And you know they want to be like, dude, that is so cool. You know, so like the cool factor would be like way up on my kids, you know. Yeah, my mom eaten by a piranha. I want them to be able to brag about it, but not like, yeah, she went to war. Yeah. No, anybody's parents can go to war. No, I want to be eaten by piranhas because that sounds awesome.
I think if I'm ever terminally ill from like cancer or something, I'm going to take those bath salts that those crazy people have been taking and try and eat someone. That would be awesome. It's like, how did your dad die? Well, he had cancer, yeah. Then he got really, really, really high and he ate 3 people. Okay.
Had to put him down.
Yeah, before he got put down by the armed police.
That's right.
But I mean, I just want something epic. I want something that's going to be memorable. You know?
You want your children to be around while you're being eaten by the piranha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't mind. My son would be like, dude, get the camera. Get the camera. Check that out. It's 9 on her leg. Get the camera. Jesus, Dad, don't jump in. You're going to ruin the shot.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing? Don't save her. The fuck
Dad,
is
lay down next to her.
It's going to be a YouTube sensation. So, yeah, I think that would have to be it.
Death by piranha. What would be your least favorite way to die?
Oh, God. Least favorite way to die.
What if trapped inside SpongeBob SquarePants' house?
Yeah.
It's a giant pineapple.
You know, knowing what I'm afraid of, and it's probably exactly how I'm going to die, I'm like going to plummet off like a 30-story skyscraper, like on fire into a pit of vipers or some shit.
I thought you were going to say off a stool.
Which could be, yeah. I'm caught by Edward Cullen, and he's going to turn.
Like, how did your mum die? Well, she was changing a light bulb, and she failed.
Yeah.
She burst the blood vessels in her brain screaming on the way down.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm so afraid of heights, and I don't know why I'm afraid of being burned alive. It's not like, you know, I was walking down the street one day and someone, like, threw a Molotov at me or some shit, but I just know it's going to happen one day. So that's going to be my luck. I'm going to fall off a skyscraper while on fire. And I threw the vipers in just so there's some kind of cool factor.
Yeah, but I mean, let's face it. If you fall off of a high rise and you're on fire, the wind could very much put you out as opposed to fanning you. And if you landed on the vipers, you might be alive long enough. Just dying miserably.
That's the thing, it's the irony, because I'm always like, you know, it's not going to get any worse. You know what it's going to be like perpetual. I'm going to land in the vipers, they're going to slither away, someone's going to go to dump acid on me, it's only going to get my foot.
Yeah, you're going to survive, and then there's going to be like a paramedic, and he's like, oh, your blood sugar's low. Here, have some fruit salad. What's this? Pineapple.
Yeah,
God damn it!
No, let me die.
No, they tell you that if you fall off a building that you generally die of a heart attack before you get there, and I don't think so. I think you die. I think the last thing you see is the ant looking up at you as you crash into it.
Yeah, and he's like,
yeah, I'll have flies buzzing around. We see you.
I'm gonna throw up on your face. What?
Before you die, know this. I will shit on your eye.
I mean, I think people need to go through some sort of evolutionary change so we can be more like cats in that respect. First of all, Jay would be forever in business. Or Catmandu would be incredibly busy. And secondly, I mean, have you heard about what happens if you throw a cat like off a high-rise building or a high apartment? Basically, anything above like the 7th floor, the cat will basically turn into one of those flying squirrels, and they just kind of puff themselves out, spread their wings, and they glide a little bit to the point where they don't reach terminal velocity. But anything between the 4th and 7th floor, you will just hit like a sack of shit.
Picturing a cat with a cape right now.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not encouraging anyone to go, you know what, I'm going to take this cat and I'm going to throw him off. That's the other true.
Did you guys hear that podcast? I don't believe it. Insert disclaimer here.
Please hang up now. You're talking about my peeps.
I'm sorry, I'm really depressed. On the bright side, there could be like loads of cats that can't run away from you, so, you know.
Oh, that's right.
Loads of cats in casts.
I think we should ask Lisa again about what terrifies her by listening to The Least Favorite Way to Die. I mean, can you imagine, Lisa, someone coming in, putting a gun to your head and saying, on your toes! On your toes! I mean that's horrible, wouldn't it? Like, no,
it would.
Don't stand like it.
Please don't make me! They would. They have a footstool now. That's torture.
On the counter, no!
You'd be like the one like addition when it comes to like the classical Tom and Jerry, where she sees Jerry and she jumps up on a chair. Thomas, come into this mouse. You'll be the one with the actual stool, just slamming it on the mouse's skull. Fuck you, mouse!
Just beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I would squash your ass.
Yeah. You come into my house. You fuck with my kids.
Lisa, what's your favorite scary movie?
Oh,
you should have said
God.
it like Scream voice. Jade, say it again, but try and use a Scream voice.
Scream voice?
Yeah,
I don't even know the Scream voice, but what is your favorite scary movie?
Oh, God. I hate scary, because I'm such a wimp. Yeah, you know, when I was growing up, I'd watch scary movies like, you know, well, I guess they were scary. Nightmare on Elm Street and all that was scary then. You know, I saw a movie, I think it was like 5-6 years ago, that scared the hell out of me. I think it's called White Noise.
Yes, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, and I mean, I think because it's kind of, you know, it makes you think that shit could happen.
Yeah.
Like, I won't watch the commercials for Paranormal Activity. I will leave the room. Like, I watched the first one a couple Halloweens ago. We're like, oh, we're going to watch scary movies. It'll be great. Oh, sure. I go and I rent movies, and like, what'd you get? Well, I got the B version of Dean Koontz' Frankenstein, because I read those books, and they were good. So we watched that. It wasn't really scary, you know. Watched Pet Sematary, which I'd seen years ago. Not too bad. And the kids were like, okay, Paranormal Activity. And I just sat there and just shook the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, that's cool.
Like it adds one of those new elements to it when it looks like it's a documentary, you know? It's like the Blair Witch Project. I went and saw the Blair Witch Project when it was in the cinema. And I was with a group of friends, most of them female. And I wanted to watch the movie, but when you have a group of screaming girls, you're just like, hey, it's okay, baby, I ain't scared at all. Truthfully, I was shitting
Come here,
my pants.
keep you safe.
I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And it was like, hey, don't worry about it, you know, just chill. Whilst on the inside, I was like, I'm gonna piss myself. It wasn't good. But I mean, there's quite a few good documentary films out there. I mean, another one with, oddly enough, Jennifer Carpenter. She was in the film Quarantine, and that was basically like a zombie, but that was a documentary. There's also a film called Zombie Diaries. That was really good. Diaries of the Dead, sorry. That was another documentary film. That was really, really, I really enjoyed that. It was one of my favourites.
Did you see The Last Exorcist?
The Last Exorcist. Is that the one that came out recently?
Why?
Was that the one with...
I think so, yeah. It's about a year or so ago. It's about
was that the one with Timothy Dalton?
I don't know. It's about a guy who's a demonologist, and he goes around and gets rid of demons or exorcists, and a film guy follows him, and they go way out in the bayou and find this family of this old man and his daughter, and he thinks she's possessed, and come to find out she really is, and so she toys with the exorcist, you know. And have you not seen that one? It was good. It was really good.
I don't think I have. I think I missed that one. I mean, after watching The Exorcism of Emily Rose, I kind of got off of the whole exorcism films just because I was just like, meh. You know? Yeah. they either go for like, they try and be really incredibly shocking or incredibly unrealistic, and I'm just like, well, you know, why can't there be like a nice psychological blend of the two? You know?
Exactly.
And like the Saw movies didn't bother me. They didn't scare me. I'm like, it's gory, whoopie-doo, or hostile. Didn't scare me, but it's those ones that are done, like I say, like Paranormal Activity, where it's shot in a way that you think, oh my God, this could really happen. And that's what scares me.
Or it has happened.
Yeah. Because, again, I know my frickin' luck. That shit's gonna happen to me.
Quarantine was really awesome in that way, too.
What was that?
Quarantine?
Yeah, Quarantine.
Yeah, it was about the girl that was, and you knew it was going to be stupid right off the bat when she's like interviewing the fireman, and it was sort of like Cloverfield. Come on, just get the first half hour out of the way, just start.
There were some really good ones. I mean, I'll tell you a really good one, which wasn't a horror at all, but it was called Troll Hunter, that Swedish film. That was quite brilliant, and that was all done like trolls are existing. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Oh, you totally should. It's a lot of fun, and it's like the whole idea of like in Scandinavian countries that trolls exist and they're like a real problem. There's like a group of college kids or whatever, and they're filming a documentary on these like random bear slaughters or whatever. This guy that's apparently going around killing like the local bear population. They're saying it's disgusting, it's disgraceful. Anyway, they're following this guy, and basically, like, every single time he kills a troll or whatever, there's a troll in the area, he has to, like, the government brings in, like, a grizzly bear, which has already been shot, and then he, like, fakes all these tracks around the site to say that, obviously, it was a bear disturbance, and they had to put it down. But meanwhile, there are these massive things, obviously trolls, and they come to life, obviously, at night time. And it's really quite well done, in all fairness. I mean, some of the graphics could have been better, but otherwise, it's genuinely a really entertaining movie.
If you're into the
What's it called? Troll Hunter?
Yeah, Troll Hunter. And that's shot in a documentary style, and it was really quite entertaining.
Excellent.
I'm writing that down as we speak.
I wrote it down.
I mean, there's like this really quite funny scene, like when they actually catch up with this guy, and he decides because he wants to quit his job, he's just going to tell them all the truth, all about trolls and everything else, instead of trying to cover it up like they usually do. And he says, before I let you on board, you have to first of all, answer me truthfully. Are any of you religious? Do any of you believe in God? Are any of you Christians? And they are like, no, I don't believe in God. What sort of, this guy's crazy. What sort of question's that? And he's like, okay, well, take this down to the lake and wash yourself with it. And it's basically like troll excrement. And so they all were saying, it's absolutely disgusting and it's bullshit. And some of them refused to do it, but he said, you're not coming with me unless you do. And so they all decide to like coat themselves with this troll excrement so that they can't be picked up by the trolls, or the trolls can't.
That's my favorite part of any movie.
And one of them.
Anytime you can be covered in shit, I'm down.
Yeah, pretty much. And but one of the actual college kids was lying, and why he lied about being a Christian, it wasn't really explained. But either way, the guy gets fucked up. It was I don't know. Again, it comes down to fucking people up. I've really got anger issues. I should really speak to a therapist.
I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I like science fiction and fantasy. That's my thing. I don't like, romantic comedies. Those are boring. Whoopie-doo. Yeah.
I'm a fan of all movies. I'll pretty much watch anything. Even some musicals. I'll sit down and watch like Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. I was like, yeah, it's not bad. I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, admittedly, it had a really hot Emily Rossum in it, and I was just like, yeah. I'll haunt the hell out of her. Obviously, at the time, now I'm married. I'm happily married, but yeah, no. What else? I don't know. I mean, there's a few films that I'll steer clear of. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Whenever I hear the title, like the words Bollywood movie, it just holds no interest for me. Other than that, I'll pretty much give anything else a shot. I mean, some Japanese movies are absolutely ridiculous. Like, I tried watching this film on Netflix called Tokyo Gore Police, and I was like, okay. And I was into watching it up until about 3 minutes in, where suddenly it was like the Toxic Avenger, and I was like, fuck this. Turned it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. When blood's being sprayed around and it actually looks like milkshake, I'm just like, and I'm disconnected. I'm done.
So you weren't big on the Kill Bill movies?
Well, no. I mean, at least in like the Kill Bill movies, it looks like corn syrup. But I mean, genuinely, it's like pink fluid being floated around. It's like, oh, that's terrifying. Strawberry milkshake, yeah. Ugh.
Oh, no.
Like super watered down. It's like some guys like, you know what you need is you just add some of this strawberry powder to it. I mean, that way when the actors get sprayed in the face, they won't mind. But yeah, no, it was quite bizarre. I'll tell you what, a good horror movie, one that you should probably avoid if I was you, Lisa. Insidious.
You know what? My kids watch that, and they're like, come on, Mom, we got this movie to watch. I watched like the first minute and a half, and I'm like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to go read. Goodbye. They're like, but it's not scary. Yeah, you know what? It is. See, as soon as I saw the title, I'm like, no, sorry, that's a scary word. I'm going away now.
Like, I've been thinking about watching it, but is it good or bad or what?
It's a really good movie, apart from the...
Does it have like Darth Maul in it or something?
I think it kind of looked like Darth Maul, yeah. I mean, it's like a demon that enters your dreams. I mean, the whole scary premise of it was like basically, well, it wasn't basically, it was that the dead never forget. Like, there's this little kid that's being haunted, like, while he dreams, he's being drawn to, like, this other world where all the spirits remain. And if they realise that he's there and they acknowledge it, they can take possession of his body. And so while he's asleep, the entire movie, they're trying to figure out how to stop it, what's wrong with this kid, you know, how can they protect him? And there's this demon that's coming after him in his dreams, and it's starting to manifest in things that he does and pictures that he draws. There's always, like, a picture of, like, the demon waiting for him, or just the eyes, and as he's drawing nearer or whatever. And it's like an incredibly, like, at the time you're scared for the kid sort of thing, and then you find out why the kid can do this, and it's because his dad had the same problem when he was a kid, and he had to like see a therapist and like be hypnotized to forget about all these traumatic experiences. Because I think one of the scariest scenes for me in the movie is there's a picture like when they're talking about the dad and how he used to have this like sleepwalking ability as well, like walking through dreams, kind of like Ubers in that respect.
Right.
But while this is happening, like as it shows like a picture of the kid as his dad as a child, and like the mum's like recalling the events and she's talking to him about it, and like they're saying, well, basically, you know, at first we thought it was just night terrors. We thought, you know, we didn't think anything of it, and then we started seeing it in the pictures. And they're like, what do you mean? Basically, start looking through the images, and the first image, it's got this little boy. He's about 7 years old, and in like the distance, you can see it reflected in the windscreen of a car of this like black figure, and then like it shows like another image of like a year later or whatever, and in this image it shows the same figure but this time closer, and then the next image it's closer again and closer again and closer again as the years tick by until eventually, well, like the months tick by at this point, until you can see this whole apparition of this old woman that's just smiling, staring at him, just this horrid, haggard like image of a woman just standing over him and just watching him. And basically what the spirit wants to do is take possession of his body and obviously kill the child. And so they have to take all these drastic measures to stop them from doing it. And anyway, so it gets to the climax of the film sort of thing, and the dad obviously trying to go into his dreams to rescue his son. He comes face to face with the figure that was haunting him as a child. So yeah, that was interesting. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but it was really good. I mean,
well, all right, I gotta watch it now. I thought it was kind of poopy, but if you say you like that, I'm gonna like it too. So.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say everything that happens. I mean, I only touched on like a small fracture of what's actually going on in the film. But it's just that was one of the parts that stuck out to me. Just the image of like them always being there and always just in wait, you know. Like it's not so much of a haunting a location as it is haunting a person. I think that's what I found more enjoyable.
And that's what keeps a lot of people in line morally is the idea that's been pounded in their brain that you're being watched at all times. You know? I always thought that when I was a kid, I was told that God's always watching you. And while I was masturbating, I'm like, oh God, don't turn your head.
Oh yeah.
Don't look at this. You know, I know when I die.
Don't look at me. Don't judge me.
I know that when I die, I'm going to be looking at a repeat of my life. It's going to be like, oh, I had bad technique during those early years.
Yeah. You're going to be looking down at yourself and you're going to be like, well, this is deja vu. Now I understand why I felt so judged when I was doing it at the time, because I was watching myself in the future. That's right.
Well, Lisa, is there anything you want to tell us tonight that you haven't told any other human being at all?
Oh, my God. I don't think so. I mean, I'd tell you if there was.
Is there anything that you've forgotten that you want to share with us?
Or is there
anything? Anything I've forgotten? Well, if I forgot, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Oh, yeah, there was that thing, but I forgot.
Yeah, she was trying to remember something that she forgot. She's like, oh, damn it, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, shit.
Wait, one time I forgot, yeah.
Did you come across any problems when you were writing Phoenix Burning and Phoenix Rising? I mean, when you were trying to get in the mindset at all, or was it just natural to you? You already had it.
When I wrote, I didn't start like at the beginning and write straight through, because I just can't do it. I lose interest if I do that. So I still have like 50 different documents that are saved, but then I just kind of stuck them all where I thought they'd fit. It seemed to work out okay. People seem to like it. But I've got to have music on when I'm writing, and I can't have my kids around because they just annoy me. Then I get pissed off, and something's going to get thrown, and I'm worried it's going to be my computer, and it's the only one I have. But, I mean, I don't know if I really ran into a problem. I've found now, because I'm working on the 4th book, that there's some shit that I put in the 1st book that, at the time I'm like, well, that's kind of like just, like filler. Like, I'm just putting something there so I've got another page or more words or whatever that now make complete sense.
Right.
That, I didn't know then, now it's like 2 years later. I'm like, holy shit, wow. I guess the voices in my head know what the hell they're talking about, because I thought it was ridiculous and almost took it out.
I mean, that's good when you can, like, find yourself coming into a complete circle and you're like, that's it, now I can explain everything. I mean, I've read a couple of reviews and they're like, oh, and she put this story and there's these twists and turns that you never see coming or whatever. Now, I didn't see them coming either. Wow, go me, all right. And then what do you say? Like, hey, thanks for noticing. Totally meant to do that, Of course I did.
I hate losing characters, I like the 1st book, they're like the main character, and the 2nd book, by then I've already forgotten them, so readers are like, what the hell happened to him?
I like doing my fight scenes because I act those out in my kitchen before I ever write them. That's fun. I have an actual, like, the sword that Frodo uses that lights up when, the orcs and whatnot are coming near. Yeah, my husband took that away because I'm not very graceful, so he gave me a wooden spoon. So every fight scene I've acted out in my kitchen with a wooden spoon.
Oh, brilliant.
That's fun.
So we've got Kathmandu with the crochet hook. We've got Lisa Morgan with the ladle.
That's right. I am badass. Watch it.
Yeah.
And Lee with the pornography in the woods.
Yeah, I was going to say shirt tearing, like, rageaholic, but yeah, that'll do. Perv in the woods. I'm always watching. I'm like Big Brother. I'm just there in the distance, watching you with porn in one hand, my dick in the other, just going to town.
Looking for Jaeger. Don't make me angry.
Just don't forget, God is watching you.
Yeah, of course. That's like really creepy. Right after my mom died, and it was like a month after, and my husband's all like, wow, we get a little frisky. And I was like all paranoid, but my mom died. She can see us, and that's just gross. So I was really hung up on that. I'm like, all these people, I'm thinking my grandmother's been watching. Oh my God. And then I look at my grandparents in a whole nother light, like if they were, what kind of fucking perverts were they? Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, ew, what are you supposed to do? Like, okay, put a blanket over because the dead can't see through a blanket.
Yeah, exactly.
God can't see you with the lights off, babe.
You can just picture it, but the next time you're thinking of having a session with a loved one, you can just, like, all the dead people are just watching you in the room going, oh God, here he goes again. Oh, look at that. We can walk through walls, but we think we can't look through sheets. Who the fuck is he kidding?
I mean, I can picture my grandfather just tapping a watch, like, come on, you gotta get up, kids gotta get up in the morning, let's go.
But you get this picture, I mean, like, everyone says, oh, I had a near-death experience. Oh, yeah, what happened? Like, everyone always says, oh, well, I saw loved ones and they were calling out to me and they were happy and they were waving, or I remember being in a place which was just covered with light and it was warm and it was comfortable. And it's like, no, for me, heaven's gonna be, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna be up in heaven, and the first thing that's gonna say, a loved one's gonna walk up to me and go, you fucking sicken me. The shit you did. You know, that's what's going to be. I'm going to get disapproving looks from the family. Like, I can't believe how much you used to whack off when you were a teenager.
Yeah, they're all standing there with their arms folded, just shaking their heads as you're going through the pearly gates. Just, Lee, I can't believe you, man.
You complained. You complained of arthritis in your wrist? Jesus Christ. You know,
you brought shame upon us all.
What if St. Peter's giving that you through the gate? I mean, it's just terrible.
I could see a roast. I could see a person dying, and then they go through the pearly gates, and they have to sit down and endure a roast of their life. You know, like, hey, look at that time you picked your nose. You didn't think anyone was looking. We had an angel cam on you. Right?
How innocent are you, Jay? For the first thing you say is being called out for picking your nose. I mean, there's various other orifices that you can... Are you guys able to see me, or is it just my...
Yeah. No, of course not.
You got yourself...
Crap. Now we know what my cat eats.
You have a natural sedative before the use of the crochet hook within your snot. So, you know, that way if the cats are a little nervous, here, pick the good one for you.
I fooled my cat. I tell him it's a bouquet. Oh, here's a cat, little bouquet.
Yeah, it's exotic. So.
So, have you ever used an Apple product?
Just my iPod. I still have like the shuffle, the tiny thing that like has a clip that goes onto your sleeve. So, like, I'll put on shorts and a tank top in the summer and walk around, like, with a spray bottle of water so it looks like I've been exercising. Like, wow, that was a great run. I'm so tired. When actually I was just, out getting ho-hos.
Yeah, but that's one of the fantastic things. Like, when it comes to like exercising, I mean, some people are like, I personally think it's quite a daunting aspect. Like, what people are going to think of me? They're going to look at me and they're going to think, look at this putt, like he's ever run anywhere. But I mean, when you're actually out and about and you see all these people jogging, you look at them and you're just like, that person has been running for 15 miles. He's training for a marathon. You can see it. Look at that sweat pouring off of him. And truthfully, he's just walked out of his shop walked out of his front door to get the paper 10 yards down the road, and he's fucking out of breath. And you're like, well done, that man. I mean, he's out there every morning. He's like that fucking American mailman. Come rain, sleet, or snow, that fucker's out on the go. Wow, that rhymes. that should be the new motto.
See, I ran a 5K, but that was it.
I tried jogging once and my feet were like, stop it, please. Sit back
What
down.
did we ever do to you?
When I was doing officer training, we had to do like a 5-mile tab carrying like logs. That was exciting.
Oh,
I bet it was. It's always
I was just happy I ran 3 miles in under an hour. I was like, yeah, look at me, I'm Rocky. Yeah, not so much. There was 3 old ladies in a wheelchair behind me, but still, they were behind me. God damn it.
We had to do this basic fitness test just to assess your level of fitness. And they're like, right, well, everyone's got to run a mile in 10 minutes. And I was like, fuck you. So, it's like, I mean, they made it even better. I mean, like, the night before I was up drinking, and because I get on with some people, I managed to wean myself into the officer's mess. In which case, I was up until about 3:30, just getting absolutely hammered. Not just the Jägermeister, Scotch mainly, because the Jägermeister wasn't that big in England at the time. And so I was just getting completely shit-faced drunk. And I didn't swamp that night, although one of the other candidates did. He pissed in his friend's footlocker. Anyway, so yeah, I get in 3:30, and we're out for parade at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, right, PT test, start running now. And suddenly it was like, oh my god, I had to sleep for like an hour and a half. Oh shit! And so you're having to run like a mile and a half in 10 minutes, and yeah, that didn't go well. I think my best time was like 15 minutes, and I didn't throw up. And they're like, well, if you didn't throw up, you weren't trying hard enough. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. I don't have any liquids in my body that isn't alcohol. If I drank water right now, I would be drunk for parade, and I'd get beasted, and I'd have to do the running all over again. So I'm just running on fumes.
The guys behind you were getting drunk off your sweat.
Yeah, apparently.
I think my basic fitness level's chocolate. I think that isn't that how they rate it? Like chocolate, Doritos, soda, and then healthy, like broccoli.
I was told popcorn was healthy for you, but they didn't tell me you can't eat like 5 bags a day. I mean,
Walking Dead is coming on, here in New York.
Yeah.
I have a serious thing for Daryl Dixon.
Yeah. Come to Walking Dead because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning for him.
Yes, I will be downloading it when I wake up in 2 hours, and I will be downloading the shit out of that. I mean, I'm quite fortunate. I managed to get my wife into the series. I mean, there was a time where she'd be like, oh, zombies, oh God, Lee, just, grow up, you're pathetic. And now she's like, oh my God, The Walking Dead's going to be on, it's amazing. I'm like, yes, it is. And I'm like, the best thing about The Walking Dead? And she's like, no, what? And I was like, Rick? And she was like, nope. And I was like, the main guy, the sheriff. Nope. The main guy, the one with the fucking 357 Magnum, the main dude, the one that was in a coma. Oh, yeah, him. And I was like, yeah, his name's Andrew Lincoln, yeah. And he used to act in Bristol. And she's like, what the fuck does that supposed to mean? I was like, I used to live in Bristol. I mean, it's one of those like damn associative things, you're like, yeah, that guy. Yeah. Well, it turns out he used to live within 10 miles of where I used to live. How cool is that? Well, it's not cool. I mean, if you said you used to fucking walk his dog or something, or, you've been out drinking with him, then you can tell it as a story. That's a cool story to say. But just to say you lived in the same rough fucking area, that doesn't mean shit. Alas. But, Andrew Lincoln, he's brilliant.
Yeah, Elvis came
I like the show. I really like the show.
What did you think of season 2? Did you think it was dragged out a bit too long?
Yeah, I mean, I like the writing. I mean, the whole shit with Sophia. Come on. I love my kids, but if I can't find one of them in 2 episodes, I'm leaving them. Fuck that,
Yeah, that's
You're dead, dude. You're dead. I'm sorry, Haley. I loved you. Claudia, you can have her clothes. But, I mean, I liked it, but, I liked the last episode. That was fucking great. With the barn and, yeah.
Yeah, no, but everything going absolutely crazy. I mean, the first episode that aired last week, I mean, obviously you can see how everyone's changed. My wife was like, oh my God, what are they doing? Oh, he's eating dog food. And I was like, well, no, obviously you have to understand there's a lot of protein and fat in those tins of dog food that, although they might not taste great, but they'll keep you alive. And she was like, no, that's disgusting. If it's so important, then why is he throwing them away? And I said, well, because he doesn't want to resort to that, he's too proud. I mean, he's been living as a human, He believes he can do better than just having to put up with that. I mean, admittedly, throwing it away is stupid. He should have kept it on him just in case. I mean, if not, just to throw it at someone because they're fucking...
Yeah, I mean, you never know when you're going to find a box of crackers, and then that shit's,
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever had MREs and with the fucking pate that comes in there, it's exactly the same thing. Or corned beef hash. Ugh, God.
Now, did you read the comics, the graphic novels, or books or anything?
I never did.
Before watching the show?
I never did, no. I mean,
oh, my God.
In regard to being a bit of a comic book nerd, I mean, I was always used to, I was really proud that I had, the first few issues of Aliens vs. Predator before, the whole Aliens vs. Predator franchise kicked off. I was like, yeah, I'm elitist. But, I mean, my favourite comic book hero, as a kid, was, Spider-Man. I thought he was the shit.
No, I mean, that's, I've read them, and that's why I'm so excited when I saw, Woodbury and the prison and Michonne and knowing that Bob Kirkman is behind it, behind the scenes with the show. Oh, I'm so hopeful for this season. I really am.
Yeah, hopefully it will keep on kicking ass. But what are you going to say, Jay?
Well, I was just going to say, the writers were at Scarefest in Lexington this last August, I think, or so.
Oh, wait. Oh, man.
I know.
Damn it.
I would have convinced them to make me an extra. I would love to be just shot as a zombie, but yeah! You don't even need to pay me.
No doubt. No doubt.
Right. Alright, I think we should call it a night then. 2 a.m. my time, Walking Dead's about to come on.
Good grief.
And,
yeah.
Well,
thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, sorry it took so long to get you on.
No, that's all right. Not a biggie. I mean, I had the time all screwed up, so I'm like yelling at my husband. 'Cause we were in Pennsylvania all week. I'm like, you need to hurry up because I got to be home at 6 o'clock. Then I didn't think about the time difference, so I'm like, oh shit, yeah, go get me some McDonald's, would you? I got time. It's all right. I want chicken nuggets.
You weren't that woman, were you? The legendary woman. Did you ever hear about the story about the woman with chicken nuggets?
No.
Well, it was like, I think it was 2011, and this woman's New Year's resolution, it was New Year's Day, and this woman, she went to the drive-thru window, and she was like, hi, can I have an order of chicken nuggets, please? And the person there is like, well, we're doing the breakfast menu, sorry, it's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning, you can't do anything. And the woman just flipped out. She's like, give me some goddamn chicken nuggets. And the guy's there, standing there like, I'm sorry, man, you can have, why don't you have an egg McMuffin, chill the fuck out. And so the woman's like, God damn it. And she gets out of her car and she rips this person through the window and starts trying to beat the shit out of him. And it's like, well, you can tell as a matter of fact that woman's New Year's resolution was no bullshit. And I want chicken nuggets every day. So, two resolutions. Most people, it's cut down drinking or smoking. Hers, it was no bullshit and chicken nuggets. That was
it. Right. You should have given her a hot cup of coffee without a lid. Here you go, drink it. Fast.
Yeah.
Catch.
I'm surprised you didn't call 911. You're always hearing stories about people that are doing that.
Yeah, they got my order wrong. 911, what's your emergency? They fucked up my meal. Oh.
Yeah. I ordered a Big Mac and they gave me...
We'll get an officer over there right away.
Yeah, let me put the kid that's calling because their mom hung themselves on hold. Just a minute.
All right. Get up to 6 feet while you're at it, okay? Well, it has been real and fun tonight. Thank you all so very much. Lisa, I didn't know you were as sick and twisted as we are. And
you would be, and this is my mellow night. I only got an hour's worth of sleep last night, so
I'm quite happy to ask you to be a regular feature. In all fairness, because we could do with some feminine wiles. Because unfortunately, I don't think Joe's going to be joining us again, and he was the feminine one. So.
Oh damn! Well, anytime I'm home.
And we know Joe's not going to know anything about this because he doesn't have the capacity to listen for this long. So.
Yeah.
I think I saw someone move outside my window. Oh my god.
Yeah. He's there at the forest porn, furiously masturbating. I'm so angry at you, Jay. Anyway, alright, well, God bless you all, and I'll speak to you later on.
Alright, you guys have a great night.
Hang a second, Jay's got his neighbour over again.
Yeah. Let's go later.
Talk to you later.
We'll talk to you soon.
Cheerio.
Bye.